In this 3-part series of layout design fundamentals, we have so far covered layout spacings and alignments. Today, I'll go over dimensions and scales. By watching this, as well as the other ones linked in this video, you'll get a solid understanding of the principles that help you design a good layout. By the end of this video, you'll understand the difference between dimensions, scales, and aspect ratios, how and when they're used, and how it helps you create a strong visual language and structure in your layout design. Let's go. Dimension is the actual size of an element, which can be measured by width and height in 2-dimensional objects, or width, height, and depth in 3-dimensional shapes. This is not to be confused with scale though, which is the relative size of an element. It is relative to the base size of that particular element. So if you have a text size of 16 pixels as the base or default size of your body text, then this would count as the 1x or the base scale. But in a browser or on your phone, you may want to have a different setting that increases the scale of the content. Now, if it's set to 200%, then the scale is 2 times relative to the base size. 16 pixels would therefore be multiplied by 2 in that case, giving you a 32 pixel body text. Aspect ratio is also a common term used when speaking of dimensions in design. It refers to the proportion between the width and height of an element, and this is most commonly mentioned when working with imagery or graphics. When you upload a picture on Instagram, for instance, they have a couple of predefined aspect ratios that the image or video will be constrained to. Usually this is set to 16:9, 4:3, or 1:1 for square images. Now, visual hierarchy is the arrangement of the elements that help you create an order or priority of the content on a page. So for example, titles usually have a bigger text size to emphasize the most important thing on a page, the subject. In a lot of contexts, elements with a big dimension have a higher emphasis and therefore a greater importance. So when working with text, start off by deciding which part of the text is most important. What do you want the user to read first and pay attention to? Also, don't forget to look at how much space or real estate that you have available. There are certain rules that you have to go by when deciding text sizes. That's a big topic of its own that falls under the category of accessibility, which definitely deserves a set of videos of its own. But just for now, when working with body text or paragraph text, don't go smaller than 16 pixels. This is the universal standard of the base text size in both web and mobile. Now, based on this, figure out what size you want the larger and the smaller text styles to have. Designers have different preferences for these sizes, but I highly recommend you to check out type-scale.com. A type scale represents a group of font sizes that help establish a balanced composition of text sizes in a design system. Mess around with the site to create your own type scale. It's like music scales, but for typography, that helps you create a harmonious set of text styles. Going back to this example, you can clearly see how different sizes in each text style helps create a visual hierarchy in this text block in order to show the difference of priorities for each element of the text. The title being number 1, body being next, and a unique dimension and thickness or weight as it's actually called in the CTA to help make it stand out and seem clickable. Now, using these same principles, you can set up guidelines for the sizes of all other elements in your layout or design. This is it for layout design fundamentals. Now, if you haven't already, watch all 3 videos and make sure to implement all of these tips and rules to help guide your layout designs. Make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and hit the like button for more videos like this. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.